Oh, very, very good evening to everyone joining us today. We are back with another round of ACC race, and this time we are at the circuit in Hungary, the Hungaroring, as people call it. Obviously, F1 also race here, but GT3 cars also race here. It is quite a fun spectacle to watch here, especially without DRS assistance. These drivers will be taking weird lines through all corners to get a better exit, and that's where you can capitalize and get a move done. Obviously the initial laps are gonna be fun, but before going into the action, let me just tell you about one of our providers who is providing sort of like a service to us this round for today's stream. We have ACC TV, and we will be using ACC TV for keeping an eye on the battles that are going ahead. It also provides a lot of good telemetry features. Obviously, a lot more features than what the ACC base game gives us. A much better timing sheet and a much frequent update of timing sheet. So if you are interested in having a bit more edge compared to other people and getting a bit more information out of the races that you are participating, and if you have a race engineer, then do consider subscribing and buying the ACC TV license. But before going forward, we do have a small trailer from the ACC TV folks, which we will like to show you guys, just to give you a brief about what all features can you expect. And that was a small brief about ACC TV. Definitely, we are gonna be using ACC TV for our streams. Thanks to those folks for providing us with a couple of licenses to make our streaming a bit more smooth, a bit more better. We will soon be going into the quali session. Before that, we do have a couple of pointers to talk about. But before that, I forgot to introduce my com box for today. It's me who will be joining you as a commentator. No more pro player. You will be hearing my voice pretty often in all the ACC races throughout the season, I believe. And with me, I am joined by SSJassassin, who is gonna be controlling the camera and showing us all the actions from all the angles possible for you guys to watch. So, SSJassassin, say hi to the stream. Anything you have to say about today's race?
Well, first off, I'd like to wish you a good evening, Dipanshu. And yes, I am hoping that today is going to be a great spectacle to watch, especially with ACC TV. I have much better control of the cameras than what the default cameras from the game give me. So yeah, I hope the viewers also get a good load of entertainment.
Yes, definitely. That's one of the reasons why we've approached the ACC TV folks to improve our streaming quality and get more better angles at the battles that we previously missed. Hopefully, now we will not miss it more often. But that's the overlay that you see there. But we do see that the quali has just now started, so we will be getting into the action very soon. Unfortunately, today, as of now, I don't have a second commentator in the box today. Maybe someone will join in the future, but once he joins, then I will introduce the second commentator. But for now, it's just me who will be taking you through this exciting race this weekend in Hungaroring. Obviously, we are following a sprint race, structure for this race itself, this race as well. So we have a 10 minutes quali, followed by race 1 of 20 minutes and a race 2 of 30 minutes. So that's sprint race. No need to change your tires, just a splash and a dash for both the races. But qualifying is the most important part of the race, which decides where you start for race 1, and the finishing order of race 1 decides the grid for race 2. So currently we are on board IM Myth, who has joined us after a pretty long time and a long break from ACC. Obviously, because of him moving on for further studies outside the country, he's not able to get back into the action. But today, he's back in India and he's back at his wheel and he's back in that McLaren, the orange and black McLaren. So we will be seeing he is one of the fastest drivers that we have here on the grid. So we will definitely be keeping an eye on this man here. Obviously, we have a grid of around 20 drivers. I'm not sure if there are more than 20 drivers, but we do definitely have at least 20 drivers as Myth rounds up the final corner and will be starting his hot lap. Let's stay on board, Myth, for this hot lap. Going into turn one, I think you will be looking for the curb start and just brake just before that, trying to hit the apex, drift wide, get on power as soon as possible. Obviously, Myth driving the McLaren helps him get on power as quickly as possible because it's McLaren, it's either 0 or 1 throttle. Again, for this corner, it's a bit of a flowing corner, braked at the start of the apex of the curve on the right side, and then just on power for all of this sector. The next corner, again, you will be looking for braking just at the start of the curve on the right side, downshifting 2 gears and again back on power. For the next corner, for this corner, it's a bit tricky of a brake point and also to get back on throttle because your rear tries to step out. So you try to control that. For the chicane, you try to mount as much as possible of the curve, but not mounting it too much because that will throw your car off. For the next sequence of S curves or flowy corners, obviously with controlling his car on power there, you have to get on power to get a better exit through all this corner. Just slight downshift, a brake, and then again back on power for this third longest straight that we have on Hungaroring. Again braking as soon as the curve starts, hitting the apex, going wide. For the next corner, again braking when the curve starts on the right, sticking as close as possible to the left curb, downshifting to first gear, and then again getting on power as quickly as possible. Final corner, bit of a trick. You don't need to put that much of a brake, but you do need to get on power as quickly as possible. We do have the fastest time set by the Singh of 143 as Myth crosses the line. Will he change the pole position? Not as of now. He is currently 1/10 slower than the Singh, but obviously as the session progresses, so will the time. So we will have a look at the times as the session is progressing. Obviously we have much better look at all the graphics because of ACC TV, their overlay. We can see their sector times on the bottom right. We can see the whole timetable on the left side, and we can definitely see the fastest lap banner coming up in the middle. Sort of something like, what we have for our F1 telemetry, but obviously the F1 telemetry is built by us and not sponsored by someone else. So that's why, but the graphics look sort of the same. The features look sort of the same. We do have 22 drivers in the game right now. Not sure why Slaya YT name is marked as yellow. Even I have to get used to the features of ACC TV. I am also not aware of why his name is marked as yellow. Obviously, someone in the chat can definitely, if you have used ACC TV, can let me know. Obviously, we have a couple of people who have joined us in the chat box. We have Akshat Tejwani telling nice and nice run. We have Akash Shrithran who is telling Bog, and obviously Nandkishore, obviously our Ink who is telling Slaya is low, hence yellow. I'm pretty sure that's not the reason. Babaji also his name coming up as red. I think those are the flags that these boys are getting. Maybe. I cannot confirm on that. So we'll still keep an eye on why those colors are coming. We are currently on board Moto again. Moto recently picked up the game, has done a couple of endurance races, being my teammate, especially in those endurance races. So this man has the consistency and definitely has the pace of a midfielder, and that's why he is placed in the silver class right now. Obviously we do see a lot of colors on the left side. So we have white colors, so those are our pro drivers. We have silver color, and those are our silver drivers, and the red colors are amateurs. They are new to the game, they are not that quick, so they are in the am class. We do have 3 classes: racing, all together. Obviously, on the track, it doesn't matter which class you are battling for the position that is ahead of you. But at the end of the season, definitely there will be a declaration of per class winners rather than just a whole season winners. So this gives more motivation to drivers to race and participate in the same. Right now, we do have Ghost and Tanish, who are in P6 and P7 respectively. Obviously, they are the pro drivers and hopefully will be looking to improve on the time. Right now, Myth himself has gone close to Davlesh Singh with just 8 milliseconds separating the top two. So obviously, just 8 milliseconds is not enough, and Davlesh Singh will be sweating under his shirt right now. He does not want to lose that pole position. He was unchallenged in the last race, but this race we have brought out Myth. So maybe this time there will be sort of more of a challenge coming across for Myth in for Davlesh Singh in this race. We'll have a look. We do not have Masoom in this race, unfortunately. So Myth is here to take his place for today's race. We are currently on board Davlesh Singh himself in the Audi. So we'll just have a look at his lap. I think he is currently having purple sector 1. I think that is his previous lap, if I'm not wrong, and not his current lap time. So we'll see what he can do. Will he improve on his time? Not sure if he just came out of the pits or if he is on a flying lap. He might be on a flying lap. That can also be a possibility. But on the bottom right, you can definitely see the fastest time that he has set of a 1:43.022 with a sector 1 purple. But sector 2 and sector 3, someone else has taken purple. Maybe Myth, not sure. But definitely he has to keep a lookout. Meanwhile, down in the pack, we do see a couple of drivers, Babaji, Sai Prithvi, Etsil, who haven't yet set a time. We'll go back to them when they set a time. Right now, Myth has definitely set the purple sector 2 and 3. So he is just lacking in sector 1 from Davlesh Singh in those purple sectors. So we'll see what he can pull out in the near future. We have Nirma, whose livery is again not showing up. He will be furious. Last time he did scold me for it because I don't know why. According to him, it's my fault, but it's not my fault. It's the streamer's fault. So I will take my name out of this.
Okay, nice way to shift the blame onto me. I downloaded all the liveries as instructed, but I don't know. I think Nirma
So
has screwed up a bit.
yes, so then it's Nirma's fault. So we all blame Nirma. I get a couple of blame on Nirma in the chat, but nevertheless, we do have his Beamer. He has taken a Beamer this season. Okay, that's an exciting thing to see for today's race. He has parked his car on the right side after completing his hot lap. He is currently P11 with a time which is 2.6 seconds slower than Davlesh Singh. So he will definitely look to improve. We have Deepakraj, who showed really good pace in race 1 in the last race that we did. So we'll see what he can do. He has a lot of competition in the silver class. We have Helium ahead of him, Raja, Oshan. All of these drivers are ahead of him. Tegi is 1. Personally, I have fought with Tegi is 1, and I'm pretty sure that man is really quick on the field. Gaurav Arora asking in the chat, what about me? Sir, I cannot see your name in the timing sheet, so probably you should hop onto the race and then we'll talk about you. We do have Deepakraj rounding off the last second corner. Our quali has already ended, so this will be his final lap of the race. We do see the checkered flag for a lot of drivers, but a lot of drivers are still on the lap. Does he improve? Doesn't seem like. Obviously, he has been doing yellow sectors, which we can see from the bottom right. So didn't look like that he would improve. Oshan, meanwhile, has set a green sector 1 and 2 in his previous run. So maybe this run he can improve. Let's see. He is currently P10, just ahead of Deepakraj. Obviously, just 2/10 ahead of Deepakraj, but he's around 3/10 behind Raja. So can he gain those 2/10 and improve on his time and maybe gain a couple of positions in the timing sheets? But as of now, he's starting in the top 10. He is in that Porsche, or as we all call it, Pocha. So can he mop the entire field with this time? We do have the fastest time set by Myth in the background, and he is gonna be starting in the pole position. Meanwhile, Oshan could not improve on his time with a sector 1 and 2 yellow. So definitely Davlesh Singh crosses the line and sets the fastest time of a 1:42.8. So Davlesh Singh keeps the pole position from Myth. Myth still 1.5 tenths slower than Davlesh Singh, but Davlesh Singh definitely is challenged in today's race by one of the competitors. So that's an end of quali for today. We do have Davlesh Singh setting purple first and second sector in P1, P2 by Myth. P3, I'm not sure because I can't see that because of the overlay of ACC TV on the left side. So I cannot tell who is in P3 as of now. Maybe we can do a grid walk. What do you say, SSJ? Yeah, yes, now I can see. So P3 is Purav Gowda. P4, Tanish, one of the pro drivers, but Purav Gowda with the silver class in P3. We have Tech is one in silver class in P5, Helium in P6, Ghost in P7, a pro driver a bit down. P8, Etzel, P9, Raja, P10, Oshan, P11, Deepakraj, P12, Kake, P13, Washing Powder, Nirma, P14, Moto in the McLaren. P15 Slya, P16 Cannonade, P17 Star Max Lord, P18 Supreme Kai, P19 Akshay Shivani. Okay. Akshay Shivani. P20, Mr. Raut. P21, Babaji. P22, Sai Prithvi. P23, Faizan. P24, Worship the Panda. So Panda has definitely joined the lobby after my suggestion for him to join the lobby. So I think he will be starting from back of the grid. Obviously, beg my pardon on that name because I have been lounging and commentating. So we lounging, we legends. Hashtag JD. So that's what we are doing here. We are commentating. We do have the helicopter blade spinning slightly on the right side there, probably ready to take off for any kind of emergencies. We do have a couple of cars slowing down, braking. Well, the strategy to warm up your tires is, half throttle, half brake. Ride the brakes so that your brake temperatures get transferred to your at least the tires. That's the main aim. We are about to go green. We have gone green after the start finish line. It seems like both Myth and Davlesh got a good enough start. Myth not getting that good of a start. Purav Gowda looking for a dive on the inside on Myth. All being very cautious. Behind we have three cars going wide into turn one. This is reminding me of Botta's incident in F1 Hungary, but all of them taking a very safe approach. We do have already a shunt from behind on one of the cars. That's Raja, I believe. Yes, Raja has been kicked out of the race. He will be joining safely. We do have a couple of cars going side by side into the fast right-hander, and there's a slight touch there between Kake and one of the other cars. Not sure which other car, but thankfully the contact model is not that weird to throw him off. Obviously, he could have ended his race right there. We do have a lot of people having some kind of collision, and that's why the caution thing is popping up on the leaderboard on the left side. We do have up the top. There is not much of a position change. Everyone maintaining their position after turn one. Myth managed to keep his position even though there was a dive on the inside from Purav Gowda. So Myth getting a better exit of turn one and maintaining his position as of now. We have Tanish in P4, who is currently chasing Purav Gowda. Obviously, a pro driver chasing a silver driver, and behind him, Tech is one is chasing him. It's just first lap, so let's not pass any judgments. There is a lot that can happen throughout the race. Back of the field, we do have Worship the Panda making a move and getting up to P28, still getting also close to the diffuser. Fastest lap set by Davlesh Singh right there. But Eitzel is on a charge on Ghost at the moment. We do have two cars going side by side, Cannonade and Star Max Lord going into turn one. Let's see what happens. I think Star Max Lord just goes a bit wide. Yes, he goes a bit wide and loses the position to Cannonade. I think he missed his braking point. Behind him, Babaji also got Worship the Panda got a bit compromised, I believe, because of that. So he is looking to take on Faizan, who is just ahead of him. Faizan definitely got compromised because of the overtake. Look at that overspeed that Panda has. No room given to Panda there by Faizan. It is his track and he will rule the track. But somehow Panda managed to keep it on the grass and keep it straight somehow. Here also, full track being used by Faizan, and Panda had to go off the track to avoid a collision there. Let me make a mental note that Panda is in a Ferrari. Both Faizan and Panda deciding to cut that corner as if there is no tomorrow for some reason. I think it was a monkey see, monkey do situation there. Panda might have got a bit of seeing Faizan taking that much speed, and he could not brake and go on the sausage, so he decided to just avoid it. Look at that exit that Panda has, but he knows that if he sends it down the inside, that can be a bit chaotic, both going side by side. Enough space given. Faizan manages to keep the inside line for the next corner. Panda with a slight shunt on the rear and then another shunt on the front to straighten Faizan. Unfortunately, none of them ended on the side walls. But actually, fortunately, none of them ended on the side walls. But that's Panda, who is continuing the run down the straight. Fly Whitey also seems to have gotten into some incident because of that marker on the right side that he has. Maybe some battle that he is currently into. Sai Prithvi trying to chase down him. Both BMW looking exactly same. It will be very difficult for the commentator to figure out who is who. But right now it seems like Sai Prithvi is very comfortable with the diffuser of Sly Whitey. Sly Whitey takes that curve which is not to be taken, and Sai Prithvi gets the run on him. Both of them going side by side, but I think the outside guy will have to back out. Slayer does back out of that battle. A very exciting battle being seen there between both the beamers there. So both of them maintaining a good enough pace and maintaining good enough car control. But Slayer Whitey is now being chased by Moto behind him in the oh so sweet McLaren. I just jinxed him. He is on the grass now, so he will have to again catch up the time that he has lost on the grass. Back again to Worship the Panda, who has caught up to the pack ahead of him, the pack of Star Max Lord and Cannonade. The Star Max Lord making his Bentley as wide as possible, not to let Panda by so easily. So definitely we will have a look if Panda can find a way from that Think Bentley. Obviously, we do know that Panda is a pro driver, and Star Max Lord is taking it safe, very safe, just lets him by on the inside, did not try to cover up the inside there. And obviously, if you have the inside line, you definitely have more chance to make a move. We do see someone going into the pits, that Moto going into the pits. I'm not sure what has happened to him. But Moto is going into the pits, and maybe he will be retiring. Even Raja has gone into the pits. Raja, who was running pretty much up there in the top 10, has also decided to pit. Obviously, we all know in a race of 20 minutes length, we do not need to pit. It's just one splash and one dash. So you do not need to pit. That's all you need to do. Just go out, do as many overtakes, do each and every lap should be a push lap. That's what these drivers are trying to do. Worship the Panda is trying to eye up on Cannonade at the moment. We do have consistent gaps being formed right now. We do definitely see Supreme Kai being overtaken by Nirma and the timing sheets on the left. So, but we will keep an eye on this battle itself, because we all know that Panda is soon going to dispose of his other sibling Ferrari, that is Cannonade. So we'll see where does that happen. We do see Helium with the yellow flag, and he is dropping down like a stone. He is currently in P10. Not sure what happened to him. Maybe he was forced off the track or he went off the track, but he is going very slow. And because of that, Sai Prithvi got compromised, and Slaya looked for an opportunity there. Maybe he's gonna make a move. Deepakraj has lost 2 positions because of all of this chaos that is happening there. With Helium dropping a couple of positions. Another, 2 cars having same livery, Helium and Sai Prithvi. Not gonna be helpful for the commentators. What is up with everyone choosing the same livery for the Beamer? There are a lot more options. Come on, guys, put some effort. But we do have Helium, who is on a chase for Kake. Oh, my mistake. That was Helium and Kake. So Helium is currently chasing Kake, or are we on board Helium? I'm not sure whom are we on board. Are we on board the middle car or the car leading the pack? Everyone is Beamer, so we are. No, I like car manufacturer. I can figure out from far off. So I think it's a pack of Helium and Kake that is currently we. That's what we are watching right now. So Helium is sizing a move on Kake after his mistake. Will he send it down the inside? We will have to wait and watch. Right now, Helium is getting oh so close to the diffuser of his sister car that is in the other Beamer. Kake trying to hold up as much as possible. We have Sai Prithvi who is chasing down on Helium. So we were on board Sai Prithvi actually. Yes. So let's keep on Delta. I think Delta is enough. So it was Sai Prithvi who was chasing on Helium. Kake has run off the field. He is way forward. We have a couple of requests in the chat to put the camera on Purav Gowda. Is he currently in a battle? No, it doesn't seem like he is currently under attack from Tanish, who is a pro driver. So definitely he has to defend from a pro driver, but he is currently 6 seconds back. We do have the lead battle that is about to spice up in the next couple of laps. We do have Myth, who is closed up on Davlesh Singh. Their time delta is just half a second, sorry. And Myth is setting the purple sectors of the session. Sector 3 being purple, sector 2 is where he lagged a couple of seconds or a couple of milliseconds, should I say. So we'll get back to that battle. We'll keep an eye. We do have Helium, who has finally made his move on Sai Prithvi after his incident and after him falling from P5 all the way to P11. He has climbed up one position. Now he is in P10. Let's go on board Tanish. I think he is just 4 tenths behind Purav Gowda. So Purav Gowda will have to make that Bentley as thick as possible and block as much of the track as possible. Let's see what kind of defensive move can Purav Gowda pull out. Oshan, meanwhile, is dropping down like a stone. It seems like he has been in an incident, a mistake that he has done, and he has lost a lot of positions because of that. We do have 2 battles as of now on the top. That is raging. We have Sai Tarun is still maintaining a 4 tenths gap from Helium, but I don't think he can get the move on Helium. We all know Helium is a pro driver, not in pro category, but he has the pace. So I am not sure how easy that's gonna be. Tanish, meanwhile, has lost a second on to Purav Gowda. I think Tanish is running a low downforce setup, which is not helping him in the 3rd sector, because in the 3rd sector, it's all about the downforce. We do have right now Sai Prithvi again, 4 tenths, just separating Sai Prithvi and Helium at the moment. Behind we have Panda, who has closed up to Babaji. Can we go on board Panda right now? Because I think that's a battle that is way more plausible. That's gonna happen. It's already happening. It seems like Worship the Panda went for the inside line, but with the power of the Honda, is that the car that he is in? I think he is in the Honda NSX. With the power of that car, Babaji having the straight line speed to even outmatch a Ferrari, but Panda manages to keep the inside of the next turn, and Babaji had no response for that. Faizan has gone back into the pits and is losing a couple of positions, but that's the battle done. Worship the Panda moves up to P13, starting from all the way back of the field. So he is definitely catching up positions. I think that's one way to make your, race spicy. That's what you do. You start from last and then you try to climb up the field. We are back on board Sai Prithvi, who has not yet left the rear of Helium. Even though being a pro driver, he is not having response for the silver driver. We do have a couple of fans of Purav Gowda in the chat. Obviously, they are cheering him up and they want him to get P1, but unfortunately, he has to get past Davlesh Singh and Myth, one of the fastest drivers that we have in the community. It seems like Helium has caught up to Kake as well after he has broken free from Sai Prithvi. So it's becoming a train now, and 3 drivers are going rear to rear. on this race with just 7.5 minutes left in this race. Let's see what these drivers can pull off. We do have Worship the Panda again close to another driver. This time it's Laya YT. So soon Panda will be making a move. A lot of effort being done to break the slipstream and cover the inside by Slaya YT, but Panda just has the pace, or I think Slaya YT might have just lifted off to let a faster driver by. It seems like
Hey, Dipanshu, what's up?
we do have Kapil who has joined us in the comms box. Kapil, we still have that sound of your laptop fan.
Okay, I will fix it.
Yeah, roaring in the background. Obviously, for the people who are watching, yes, that is correct. That's a laptop fan that is making that sound. Even we were surprised the first time we asked him the cause of that rattling sound. But we do have a battle up ahead. We have P9 and P10 who are chasing Kake in a train. So obviously some supporters of Kake as well in the chat. Some people telling Kake is much better than Hamilton. So for that he has to defend for another 6.5 minutes. We have Starmax Lord who is closing on to Nirma at the moment. So we'll see what he can pull out in that Bentley. Can he make that move on Nirma?
So what's the situation like right now, Dipanshu? I see a lot of close racing in the mid pack right now. Helium, basically holding up Sai 3 and Deepakraj in a tight little battle there. What's up with Worship the Panda? He just making his way back into the pack.
Yeah, it seems like he's on a charge. He started he started from last of the grid, and now he is already in P12 on a charge to Deepakraj. He will, I think, by the end of the race, he will be caught up to the pack of Helium and Kake and Sai there. So
Hmm.
that's a train being formed, and up top we still have Myth and Davlesh Singh separated by less than a second. That has been going on for the past 10 minutes. So we do not see any resolution coming out of that battle. Hopefully, something will be done soon.
Well, Hungary being that good old DRS train, and you can see a huge list of a huge chunk of cars all stacked up against each other in Hungary, as per usual. But that's exactly what we love to see in racing here right now. But I'm just trying to imagine, what the psyche of someone like as we're watching on Tanish or Myth or somebody who's just following these cars for laps and laps, just trying to analyze where are they strong, where are they weak, where can I make that move? Because Lord knows it, you make one slip up, you're gonna have to make up ground for so many laps after that just to get back, because it's just one of those tracks which is so unforgiving. It's so technical in nature, and yeah, it has to be a very calculated move. Having said that, side by side action into the last sector, two of those BMWs just going side by side. Amazing action right here, right now, right in front of you folks. Amazing stuff.
For me, Discord just bugged out and it just started doing reconnecting. But I am, yeah, to answer your question, I believe, all these drivers are looking for a mistake or a
Oh, sending it.
Helium sends it a bit too much and he goes in completely off the track, rejoins it, might lose the position to even Sai Prithvi, although he has the inside line, again
Oh, he's
sends it.
sending it one more. The kitchen sink is his special move, sending it on every single corner. But Kaki is
Oh,
squeezing him, and
that's Sai Prithvi actually. So
his Sai 3. My apologies.
there's a contact, and Sai Prithvi has been pushed off the track there. Helium sending it on each and every corner that he could find for the past two corners, and that ended up in a minor contact in a very loaded part of the track. And if you have a minor contact also there, you are gonna spin out. But yeah, getting back to your question, I guess they are waiting for a mistake or a send. We already saw the send. The send doesn't go as good as anyone expects, but definitely, if someone does a mistake, that's where you can capitalize. But with just 2 minutes left, they're getting restless and they are making these sends.
Well, this is IRC after all, and they don't take any prisoners on track. And this is that's one prime example what you just seen right in front. Amazing.
Yeah. I am just hoping that Myth doesn't go for a send on the Vlesh.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but knowing him, he'd probably save himself for the next race, if any. Because he's more of a championship kind of contender typically, and he's a little more ardent in his attacks. But I'm sure he's just licking his lips because he knows where Doublish is not as strong as him. And yeah, I think move is coming very, very soon.
Yeah, that is
But
true.
what do you
That
think
is
about Helium? That move was something else,
man.
eh?
Man forgot that he has to stop his car as well, especially into turn one. At least the next turn was okay, not that much, but going into turn one, he just missed everything, even the track. He went into another postcode, and that's when he could turn his car. So I think turn one was a bit too aggressive. That was a bit of a last minute effort, lunch, whatever you want to call it. But right now it seems like a couple of people have pitted. We do have Supreme Kai who has made a move on Babaji as of now. Let's just stay on the top two battle, I believe. Like that's what is gonna be spicy towards this ending part of the race, especially with just last lap left. I think this is gonna be the last lap of the race. No, I don't think so. So two more
It
laps.
is. It is the last.
It is okay.
Yeah.
So just
And
one
yeah.
more lap left. Let's see what can Myth pull out. He has been watching Davlesh from the past 20 minutes. At this point, he should be knowing the weaknesses, that the mistakes that Davlesh is doing. So will we see a send in one of those slow corners where Davlesh is not up to the pace?
Time will tell.
Indeed, going through turn 4 with just 2 sectors left. Can Myth get P1? It doesn't seem like he is looking that desperate. He is driving calmly, he is driving in composure. And as Kapil has said, he is one of the drivers who looks for the championship. But one thing that he does not have is a chance to, race in all the races in this season. Because as far as I know, he is back in India only for the next 1 or 2 months, and that's when he will be racing. After that, again, we will not be seeing Myth for quite some time. In that effort of getting that close, he is cutting the track, he is going wide, he is taking as much of an advantage as possible.
It's
Nothing else,
now
I
or
guess.
never. This that's not gonna happen. You can literally see him trying to kiss the Felicia's gearbox right, not gearbox, but his rear bumper. Oh man, it's inches away. This is quality racing. But having said that, the checkered flag is out. W Singh wins the first race here in Hungaroring Myth in a very, very close second. I think Prarav Gowda is going to be finishing P3. But having said that, Panda is not done with the pack. He is going to be lunging for that late move on Deepakraj and really make it stick. He is hugging the inside curve, pushing Deepakraj, making his stance known. But it's going to be an outside corner. He's going to go around the outside into the final bend of the track. Deepakraj sticks it in there. And oh boy, he gets it on the line. What a finish there, lads. Amazing racing.
Yeah, definitely. The final corner, if you are on the inside, you definitely have that advantage. We did see Sai Prithvi also almost making a move on Slaya there on the finish line. We have currently Supreme Kai being in an incident. Baba G is trying to make a move on Supreme Kai. From the past, I believe, 2 or 3 laps, we have been seeing these two folks exchanging positions, exchanging battles. Right now, it doesn't seem like Babaji has a final corner to go. Full trip
Ooh,
through the final.
sideways into the finish line. Oh, Babaji just giving the theatrics for the fans right now. Great finish, Supreme Kai. For newer members compared to the OG Babaji, but this time the yeah the position and the points go to Supreme Kai. But that was, I need a breather. That was some very close packed action for the 20 minutes that we just saw here. What are your thoughts, Dipanshu, on the first race?
Yeah, definitely. That's the beauty of sprint race. You get a lot of battles that keep on going throughout the race. If there is some battle that has gotten over, some other thing will come up during the part of the 20 minutes, because everyone is trying to push to the max. So definitely a very exciting 20 minutes that we got to see. We have another 30 minutes of racing that is left, but going through the pack, let's just go through the finishing order of race 1, which is gonna be the starting grid of race 2. We have Dablesh Singh, who is in P1, followed by Myth, who takes the fastest lap in race 1, but unfortunately couldn't get past Dablesh Singh. P3 by Purav Gowda, who defended successfully from Tanish, a pro driver, for the whole duration of 20 minutes. We have Tech is one in fifth position, P6, Ghost P7, 8 Sil. A respectable finish today by him after his misfortune in the last week's race. So he should be happy. He should be looking to get more points in race 2. P8 Kake, P9 Helium after his incident that happened. P10 Deepakraj, P11 Worship the Panda, P12 Slaya P13, Sai Prithvi P14, Washing Powder Nirma P15, Cannonade P16, Supreme Kai P17, Babaji, who could not overtake Supreme Kai on the line, P18, Oshan P19, Star Max Lord P20, Mr. Raut P21, Akshay Sivani P22, Moto Moto P23, Raja, and P24, Faizan. So Raja and Faizan not finishing the race, even Moto Moto not finishing the race. That is race 1. When Babaji was doing that drift, all I could think of was the Tokyo Drift theme music. But if I would have started singing that, we might have gotten a copyright on this video.
Maybe if it happens again, I think we should risk it because it was too good. Amazing stuff. But just looking at that order, and quite disappointed and quite empathetic to Sai Prithvi. He was fighting with Helium the entire race. He just got thrown off the tracks. Like, get out of here! You're not on my level. Very very harsh move from Helium on those couple of corners. Of course, never intentional, but it is very hard, aggressive racing there. And the stewards will definitely have a look at that post tonight. But
Yeah,
yeah, he was down all the way, and he's going to have to make a comeback drive for the second race.
yeah, definitely. He will have to look for. We all know that he has the pace. He just lacks in this patience category, which he has to work on. So, if he can keep his cool in the second race, I am pretty sure he will be climbing up a couple of positions in the next race, which will be countering any penalty that is coming towards him post the incident that he was involved in towards the end of the last race. But we are waiting right now for the lobby to be set again for race 2. Definitely our coordinators doing their best to get it done as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, we can definitely be shouting out our community during this time, and ACC TV for providing all the brilliant graphics that we saw on the screen, which made our streaming life a bit more useful, a bit more helpful, a bit more easy to do, and especially for the commentators, a lot more data to process, and a lot more data to commentate on while the race is going on. So both streamer and commentator happy with the ACC TV. So if you are also interested, do go and you can purchase the license for ACC TV. You do not get only the streaming facilities, you do get a lot more than that, as you saw in the trailer that was given by ACC TV. Obviously, if you are a part of our IRC, then we would definitely recommend you to use our affiliate link. It does help us as well while making purchase on ACC TV. But yeah, that's it about ACC TV. If you are joining us right now, we are currently on a break between race 1 and race 2. Meanwhile, if you like what you are watching, and if you want to be a part of ACC league racing, or any other motorsport, be in fact F1, dirt rally, we have all kinds of platform, all kinds of races, all kinds of community that is going on. It doesn't need to be that you are a gamer. You can be just a motorsports fan. In that case, do consider joining us. The links to joining the community will be down in the description of this video, so head over there. There will be also links to our website where you can head over and sign yourself up for the league race that you are currently watching. So that's a small plug-in for our community. Obviously, we have grown exponentially in the past 2 years. We are currently sitting at around 1650 members. So that's 1650 motorsport fans, Indians who have come together, and we do definitely have a very friendly community. So do consider joining us, but we will be waiting a couple of more minutes. Let's go through the chat box that we have. Obviously, Rishabh is supporting Gaurav Arora for Podium next race. We'll see. He has definitely climbed up from P20 to P11 or 10. I think that's where he finished. So he has to uh, climb up a couple of more position. Rishabh, I'm not gonna tell you this time because you have tricked me in the last stream, but you cannot trick me today.
Stuff. Well, it's been an interesting start to the season. Great attendance so far, and a lot of competition. Close combat racing this time around. Having our old faces like Ghost returning into the scene. A lovely sight always to have them racing along with us. Ghost, if you're watching back on the stream, I apologize. I should have joined it, but maybe in the future one day I will be back racing alongside you.
On that note, any specific reason for not racing?
Uh, I will. The short answer is that I don't want to be like Kimmy, jumping into a league race with 5 or 10 minutes of practice and just a wonky setup. Just driving a car which I'm comfortable with. If it's league racing here at IRC, I want to take it up seriously. I want to be able to give time and the respect that it deserves, with the kind of caliber of our drivers on the grid. I want to make sure that I've got the car control, the track knowledge, as well as the confidence to go ahead and give it my all on track. And yeah, I just are currently at a point in time where I can't do that to the to the stature that I'd like. So I'm excusing myself and want to be a burden on anyone because it just takes one lapse in concentration or um, one slam of a throttle to spin your rears and have a game ending or even a championship ending crash, and that is not something that I would want to have on my shoulders. So I will be back one day, stronger than ever, and yeah, ILC better watch out when I'm
Yeah, fair points that you put forward. Obviously, we will be looking forward to seeing you in season 10 of F1 when we have cross platform. I believe that's one thing that you will be taking seriously.
Absolutely. I'm salivating over that for the last 5 months on EA. We are so close to it.
You know,
Ah, my God.
because of that, finally we can have our PS boys also get all the attention. They have been sort of been
Absolutely.
sidelined as of now because we don't have enough players. But as soon as crossplay comes into play, that PS is no more a barrier, and definitely
Mm,
they can also be a part of our tiers that we have.
absolutely. But kind of keeping it on track with ACC, um, the I'm just trying to kind of uh, go back in time a little bit to kind of how we started season one onwards. it was a very different scene. We didn't have any classes. We had a grid of maybe 10, 15 drivers at max in season one. We had Ghost, who is probably mid pro tier right now, who used to be the dominant figure in season one and season two. And he just knew his stuff, and then he just fell off the radar. I do want to give a shout out to him because he's kind of been instrumental in getting this entire ACC series within IRC off the ground. It was his love child through and through with every season. He'd take that inspiration to heart and make sure that the community felt that love, felt that need to actually go league racing. And him alongside prominent figures like Masum, like Trucker, and definitely the championship leader Davlish, we've just been able to, as Indians, have just put out ourselves out there in the big leagues. We've got them showing that real enthusiasm for that love of GT racing, because this game is a work of art. There's nobody in this community, if not the world, who would disagree on that point. We've got real life racers using this in some format to keep their skills on point when it comes to GT racing. And the response of the community to kind of embrace this side of the community and actually go hardcore simulation racing has been nothing short of exemplary. So it's lovely to see that. And having said that, we're privileged to kind of go into the sixth season with such a huge grid and multiple tiers of racing, such close action all through and through. It just warms my heart to kind of see to from where we were to where we are right now, and just makes me so grateful that we've got such an amazing community of talented, enthusiastic racers within the community to keep this thing going, along with our coordinators, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Few words from our founder of IRC here, right there. Definitely, he is a bit emotional about this community because he is the one who founded it, one of the founders. But yeah, Kapil, as you said, Indians showing up in the international stage as well. So that's one thing that I would like to, elaborate upon, especially in GT3 as well as in F1. We do have a lot of fast drivers who can challenge and put a fight up in the international stage. A lot of them are actually still doing it. So that's a big thing that our community has produced, I believe. And I hope that we keep on doing this, and in the future we keep on growing. That's the one aim that we all have. But enough of that chit chat. We are about to start the second race, which is a 30-minute race. All the drivers trying to warm up their tires, get it up to a bit of temperature to at least get the move done. We have these cross the green light, and it is green light again. Davlesh Singh seems to have gotten the jump on Myth. Myth a few minutes back in the chat did say he is asking for. Oh, there is a big incident there. I just missed it. It seems like Goda just.
We've got the Dwajan moment. It's back in season 6, ladies and gentlemen. But no time to lose. We've got the action continuing onwards from there. We've got Davlish, who's just checked out, and Myth, who's just been carried and taken out in turn 1. And as a result of that, a huge shift in the spectrum. Take is 1 and 8 still. Some of the survivors of the turn 1 incident, a lot of the drivers who are actually up there are completely been smashed out, and now the grid is slowly trying to find its cadence and get back into the rhythm. What a crazy start that we've just seen.
Right now it seems like Faizan is looking feisty on Deepakraj, trying to go on the outside, but in fact he will lose a position. Still going side by side with Babaji. Babaji makes the move on Faizan just before entering the chicane.
What an electric start from him. Gained 14 positions, almost 14 positions in half a lap. The boy is flying. Damn, son, go get it.
Indeed, because of all that incident that happened, indeed, in the first race I did mention about the Bottas incident that happened in Hungary. So something similar that we got to see One car forgot to brake, and that's ended up. We do have a couple of cars going side by side behind Faizan. I think that's Supreme Kai and Cannonade who are going side by side and doing some haji baji move there. We do have Myth who is getting into the action, going on the inside, overtaking a couple of drivers there, trying to get back to the field, trying to get back as many positions as he has lost. Currently, he is on a chase behind Moto. We do have Supreme Kai and Cannonade who have gone into the pits. We have Raja and Akshay Shivani in an incident back there, spun around. We have Myth who is going side by side, going on the inside of Moto. We do have a spun car around there. Starmax Lord was that car, I believe, who is trying to rejoin there. But Myth moves up another position ahead of him. He has a challenge. It's a challenge of Faizan.
Oh boy, you would want to hold your hats for this, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be some spicy stuff. Faizan is just known to be the character when it comes to being a wall on track, and you're just getting the first glimpses of that. Will he be smart? Oh, he's already made a mistake. Okay. Anyways.
Moving on, we have Moto who is gonna overtake Faizan, I believe, because Faizan is just doing mistakes left and right. Myth has gained up a couple of positions, has moved up to P12. He has to still go a long way. Moto is still on pursuit, but behind him, Tanish is also trying to climb back to the field after his incident into turn 1. He is currently behind Moto, just less than a second behind Moto. So he will also be looking for a move. Myth has already closed on to Deepakraj, less than half a second separating them, going into the last second corner, going as close as possible there. Myth is very comfortable with the rear of other cars, I must say. Oh, and he sends it down the inside. Oh my god.
I am starting to get a feeling that he is on grip hacks right now. He's just carrying so much speed into the corners. It's ridiculous. It's making them look like the GT4 car. That is Myth for you in a nutshell when he's on track and he's hunting down everyone.
Well, there is a certain part of McLaren tax also coming into play. McLaren just thinks it doesn't lose anything. The only time you can lose the rear end of McLaren is when you don't give it power. So that's a weird car that you have to drive. So maybe McLaren also helping him there with the grip on the inside. But we are on board versus the Panda right now, who has two cars ahead of him, Cypher and Helium. They are back together. They are fighting.
They are. I just want to see. I would love to peek into the mind of Sai Prithvi, and he's probably just getting like Vietnam kind of flashbacks right now, and he's seeing his opponent right in front of you. The enemy is right there. Will he get him this time, or will he make him suffer? I really would love to see this, how it boils down. We've got two battles in this shot right now. You've got two Ferraris right in front. Biggest one in HCL. Oh, you've got Sai Prithvi going down the inside into the third sector. Wait a minute.
Where is he?
Where did he disappear to? Did Helium just...
Oh, no. I think he disconnected. That's why we saw him go on the inside. It was actually him disconnecting.
Oh.
Man.
That is a shame.
Yeah, just when we thought that last race rivalry can be sorted out here, he got the disconnection there, and he is out of the race. Itzel, meanwhile,
Yep.
P2 is at his grasp, right ahead of him. He is in the Ferrari, trying to chase a Beamer. Is that a Beamer?
That is a Beamer, yes.
Yes. Meanwhile,
the Silver Boys are at it, but Davlish has just checked out 7.5 seconds. In the first 5 minutes, he's probably just having his cigar and having a glass of whiskey while driving around Hungary right now, because he is on cruise control. The rest, however, we've got Panda, who's the closest pro driver, and a sea of silver drivers in between him. And having said that, Babaji has just had an incident. NSX going into turn 4, slams the wall, and somebody is just parking behind him. Is that Moto or Faizan?
Moto.
He just had that love and respect for him. Like, no, I cannot overtake you when you're down and out. So he just conceded and stayed behind him. Very, very unusual. So much
Helium.
more action. Helium has self-destructed. Karma has finally bit him in
Oh,
race 2.
oh, Karma Part 2. Helium is about to just Alt F4 right there.
Helium strikes back in race 2. Karma is not too far away from him, and he has just called it a day. He's like, I've had my drama. This is too much TV serial stuff. 3 wide action. Meanwhile, with Myth uh, going through the field right now, he's already into P5, making short work of Nirma. I
Yes.
think that's Nirma, yeah. Fortunately, don't have his livery on track, but actually Nirma staying in front of Myth. Now I'm expecting a big old dive bomb from Myth, going to go sweeping around the outside, and Ocean right behind him, so just licking his lips to make the same move. Myth just easily taking over Nirma, and he's going to keep driving away from here right now.
Well, the grips have grip tags coming into play there. It seemed like.
Totally.
But definitely, if you're on the outside, you have the advantage of braking a bit later than the guy on the inside. And that's what he used it. And he closed the door on the inside once he was ahead of Nirma there. But because of that, even Oshan thought of a move. But he will have to wait a couple of more seconds as he goes really wide on that corner, loses all the time that he had gained
You
on.
using the esports line right there.
Yes, that is correct. He is using the esports line, but Myth has already caught up to P5. God damn, someone put brakes on this man.
The hacks are a little too real with this alien right now. Somebody has to stop him real quick. But yeah, the midfield looks really spicy right now. Take and Deepakraj are in probably the mid back, kind of looking into how things are going. A lot of casualties out of that turn 1 incident, and with the likes of Tanish, the likes of Raja, the likes of Pururav Gowda of all people. He just had an amazing first race, and now he's just already. I think he's already. No, he's still in the race. My apologies. Yeah, he's still there. He hasn't given up. But yeah, what we just saw in the background is Tanish making quick work of Faizan moving up into P12. But having said that, he goes really wide. Is he carrying damage? I presume, because he's not able to stick the move, and it looked like he just could not turn right for some reason. Very odd behavior from Tanish there, and Faizan keeps the position.
Well, it did. I do remember Tanish was the guy who rear-ended Myth, like after the domino effect started. So he will be having some front-end damage, and at least it isn't a rear-end damage, because in a Ferrari, if you have a rear-end damage, it's pretty much game over for you, because your rear is
Yeah.
not gonna stick anywhere. It's just gonna go off in every corner. But he is still able to keep it up. Meanwhile, Deepakraj is on a charge towards Kale, who is currently again trying to chase on Oshan. I think the timing sheet is glitched a bit there. It's showing 308 or 310, something like that. Oh, and
Oh,
Kaki goes off, and that was a mini Code Brown moment there. Probably from Deepakraj's POV, it was even more scary, because as soon as Kake lost it, he went on brakes. So Deepakraj just
mm,
missed him, and he is gonna continue his race. Meanwhile, Moto is trying to overtake the comrade that he had made in the last incident when he just parked it behind the Babaji. He is again behind Babaji. So let's see whether he goes for the move. Eitsil is still stuck behind Tech is one, less than half a second. Will he be able to get the move done? With just 20 minutes left in the race, only 10 minutes is passed. We are not even at the half mark of
that's the interesting format, isn't it? Like it's from what I can remember, this format of having 2 races and the differing point system just puts you in a perspective where you do have an actual opportunity to make up a lot of positions if something were to go wrong with you in race one. Case in point, Worship the Panda. He is right now back into P4 after having a horrendous start in race one. And that's where the bubbling effect and just the fact that you're having a couple of starts, not a single start where the grid has kind of split apart. You have more opportunities to actually get back into the fray and actually attack with your raw pace, and that will actually shine through in this kind of a format. And we've just, as a result of all that, we've had some amazing races in this format, and that's why we will definitely continue to keep that going from here on. Having said that, this battle, as you see it, differing lines, very, very close action, 8 cylinders. Well, he would be, at this point in time, if I were him, I would be ready to lick the stamp and send it into turn one. But the straight line speed of that BMW is no joke. It is just sticking with him, and there's absolutely no inroads that he was able to make on that corner. But this is definitely the hot battle for the second position, the second points in this race here tonight.
Yeah, it's funny that a Ferrari is having less straight line than a BMW.
What
Generally,
has the world become to? What hacks is going on in this lobby today?
everyone using their own hacks. Meanwhile, Myth has gained like 3 seconds in the past 2 laps. So now the question for the chat, here it comes. Do you guys think Myth is gonna get P2 by the end of this race or no? Put down what your
Hmm.
predictions are in the chat box, and we will definitely be keeping an eye on that as well.
No, what this reminds me of, in season 5, we had Eitzel in a very similar situation, but he was the car in front. And you know who he was defending against? He was defending against the likes of Massa. And that was one horrid race where he was just on the edge and he was defending like a lion that day. That was where we realized that Eitzel is a beast when it comes to defending, especially in Hungary. I mean, he's proved himself that day, and like you just had the hats off of all the pro drivers who were just saw his driving off post stream, and he was able to fend off one of the fastest in our community through his lines. Having said that, that is a very interesting line there, Faizan.
Esports line.
I love to see sports line. We'd love to see it here. And just anything to keep in front of Tanish right now. But the poor boy Tanish is really struggling. You can see the twitches in his steering wheel, making so many corrections, just trying to figure out what is the right steering angle to give with this car, which is just so badly damaged. And this erratic driver right in front of me. How do I get past this guy? A very difficult and tumultuous task for Tanish, and we'll have to wait and watch on how this turns out.
Yeah, right now his damage is getting worse by the second because obviously in this game, if you don't repair your damage, it keeps on getting bad. So he will have to keep an eye on that with 15 minutes left in the race. Are we seeing a new Tanish? He is looking for the inside. Uh, on that point, he hasn't quit yet. So are we seeing a new Tanish? What do you think, Kapil?
Hmm. Hi, that is a good point that you brought about. I am surprised to see him here. What maybe he's taking in a new phase of his life. He's just basically gone ahead and bludgeoned a couple of cars into turn one, and now I'm thinking with Faizan, such a wonderful target of with and the rich history of this pairing through IRC's history. Will he just want to have that uh, that rage that is built up from previous experiences, and you just go YOLO helium mode in the next couple of laps or so? I would love to find out. That would be a real new side of Tanish, from the sweet old boy to the murderer that you would see on screen here tonight.
That is true. But yeah, we did see Oshan going back into the pits. I'm not sure why he is doing that. It is a splash and dash event. Just take fuel and go. Maybe he has so much damage that he is calling a quit. He wants to get it repaired, and then only he will be driving. Oh no, is he serving a drive-through?
Would have missed that surprisingly, but I'm not so sure. Or maybe just likes driving at 80 kmph. Maybe that's what his fancy is.
Imagine.
Oh, and he comes out right in that action. And I just split the two cars right in front of us. That's amazing stuff.
You
Now
know,
I want to see. Yeah, go on.
I think that's the reason why he pitted.
Ah, he wants the drama. He wants to be a part of it. He is not a side driver. He needs to be in the thick of it. But let's see if he can actually get through Faizan right now.
Oh,
Interesting lines. Oh, yep.
that looked
But
like he's go. Oh my god, this man is very comfortable with the gap that he has between himself and Faizan.
I think he has not seen the dark side of the moon, and that's why he's a little bit comfortable. But you know what? We should give our newer members the chance to find out for themselves what kind of drivers there are on the grid, and we will know very soon of his reactions of the lovely driver ahead of him.
Yes. Up ahead, Myth has taken another victim, and this time it's Panda. So Myth has gained another 3 seconds, and he is now on a charge to 8-Sil. 8-Sil has fallen a second back from where he was. Right now, Panda not giving up, sticking to the outside of that McLaren, but immediately decides to go to and go into the back of the McLaren. But I think Myth has the pace. Obviously, one of the viewer uh, wrote, commented on the video telling that he is on a keyboard. He is not on a keyboard, my friend. He is back in India. He is on his fanatic wheel. A lot of position change happening. Two drivers in the pits. That Moto and Babaji. Moto still following Babaji in the pits as well.
This is what you call a following. The reign of Babaji, the shining of Babaji has begun, and this is his first follower, his first yeah. And but look at this action. Oshan is just unable to get through to Faizan, and Tanish right now is bringing out that inner demon, and he's failing in the process. He's just taken a huge chunk of grass in the process and sticks ahead of Oshan. This is a lot of battling, which is just slowing the Porsche down. And right now, he's just unable to figure out what is happening. Why am I in this position right now?
Do you think a lot of drivers went for just refueling? Because we saw a lot of people pitting. So maybe they did a half tank. But I don't think it makes sense in a
That
30-minute
makes
race.
no sense here. I mean, this is
Yeah.
Hungary of all tracks. Why would they do that? The only thing is, we'd have to watch a replay. I'd love to do that after the session has ended to see what happened into turn one. Who did what? Who came out on top? Who came out worse off? So stick around after this race, and we'll kind of hopefully have a replay of that to show before we get into the podium interviews. But having said that, this battle is not dying in any sense. And surprisingly enough, Tanish is actually holding a portion to the point where Faizan is driving away. And this is really hurting Roshan's chances right now with a little under 10 minutes in the race left.
Oh my god, the Porsche has way more speed than the Ferrari. That Ferrari is total. Bring a car, bring a truck, and pick that Ferrari up from the track.
Oh, poor heavens. Ferrari, that's the fastest to the slowest. What are the strategies doing in this corner to be putting him in this hellhole right now? Ferrari boys can't catch a break.
I think at this point, Tanish just needs a tow truck. His car cannot be.
And a big hug for his troubles.
Yes. Big hug is needed because right now it seems like he's gonna get overtaken by Raja and Babaji also, who are very close
Oh,
to him.
the man is just going back in time and going back in positions. He wants to meet and say hi to every driver, and that's how it looks like.
Oh,
But the battle here for P2 and P3 is still on it. It's still unable to find that. I think it's very smart defending from Tegiswan. You can see that he's quite confident in the way he kind of positions himself. But having said that, There's a poor exit. Eitzel squeezing through that back marker. He's going to squeeze it again, going around the outside of turn three, I won't say. But that switchback line, and oh my god, what a move to defend from Tegus one. This is racing at its finest here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, like he did get the move done. I thought Eitzel will take advantage of a blue flagged car and push, Tegiz one into him. But Eitzel showing some good, racing etiquettes there and giving enough space so that Tegiz one can continue his run down. Meanwhile, it seems like Tanish and Raja are having a skirmish back behind this pack. Yes, there they are. All three drivers, because Tanish is so slow, everyone overtaking. Babaji also goes ahead of him, and even Raja goes ahead of him. As I said, the damage gets worse in this game as you drive. So the longer Tanish doesn't repair, the more pace he's gonna lose, and that's what we are seeing live.
Yep, really, really sad day for him. But in the top, we've got another challenger who's entered the chat. Myth is now under almost a second behind Eitzel, and the boy is definitely on the hunt for P2. The gap is quite large from P1 to P2. Davlish obviously is probably drunk at this point, he's driving away and having his sip of whiskey, but the rest of the pack is quite close for the rest of the podium positions. So do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a very action-packed 7 minutes coming up.
Yes, just 7 minutes left in the race. Myth has one of the best defenders to dispose of, and then Teg is one as well to get back into P2. But Davlesh Singh has definitely checked out. Davlesh Singh again getting a grand slam or whatever you call it, getting pole position, winning race 1, winning race 2 as well. Although I don't think he got the fastest lap in race 1. So I think he does not get the grand slam. Is that how it works?
Maybe you take the best of both worlds and maybe give it to him, because Myth is definitely not going to be able to get it this time around because of his damage into turn 1. So he might walk away with the Grand Slam in some sense for the weekend, but not for every single thing.
Yes, definitely. But right now we just saw Moto parking it on the pit entry and then returning to garage. Not sure what happened. Did he take a wrong amount of fuel or something and he ran out? Can't comment. We do have a couple of blue flags coming in the way of Myth at the moment, who is trying to get a charge on Eitzel. Eitzel has fallen back a second in the previous two sectors, which has helped Myth close the gap to less than a second. Myth is looking feisty right now, and he wants the move to be done as quickly as possible. With just 5.5 minutes left in this race, we have an incident between Babaji and Faizan, and that's a punt. Not sure what happened there. Couple your comments.
This is what Moto wanted to see. This is the following that Babaji has got. People will follow him because of his great moves, and that is a classic move of Babaji that you just witnessed in front of you. Textbook stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Textbook.
I think Babaji moved to the right, and then Faizan also started moving to the right. And because of the overspeed that Babaji had, absolutely no place to go except on the grass. Babaji decided not to go on the grass, except go into the rear of Faizan. And Faizan has been taken out. Babaji gains one position on Faizan. We do have Myth, who has closed the gap to less than half a second to Eitzel. Eitzel missing the chicane there. Hopefully not getting close to. Well, that's a way to, gain some time and create a gap. We can clearly.
Absolutely. You have to use your warnings judiciously to stay in position.
You should have just sent it.
Yeah, the ACC system is so much more lenient when compared to F1, that you can just take any esport line and you lose enough time in the process, or you have a certain way and you'll get away with it fine. So you can definitely use that to your advantage. But having said that, I think the big loser there is Raja. He's just been completely smashed out of the park. And now Tanish is again limping away from the scene of the crime. Faizan and Babaji, obviously, they've split up, but Tanish is not enjoying this race. The pain needs to end and needs to end now.
Well, I am still impressed by him. At least that man didn't give quits, so he's still continuing. So that's an improvement from Tanish's side. So any kind of improvement, we take those. Now it is. Now we have to see whether Eitzel again takes the esports line to create the gap, because he has again closed up the gap to less than half a second. Eitzel also is less than half a second to Tegi's one. So hopefully these three don't end up in an incident. Did I just jinx them?
Well, if Eitzel can actually keep Myth behind, we will have to change find a new title for it. And I'd love to know, whoever's in the chat right now, what that name for Eitzel, the great defender, would be if you were to actually maintain that last podium spot. Because Myth is just slice through the field, slice and dice from P2 to P, I think 9 or something, and back into P4. But Eitzel is one tough cookie, and I would really like to see how this plays.
I thought that Myth was going for an opportunity there, because Eitzel took a tighter line into that corner that compromised his entry. But Myth couldn't make anything out as Eitzel goes wide, and Myth using McLaren tax and trying to get a better run on a Ferrari. He does overtake the Ferrari. Eitzel not able to defend, but he has gone out on the right side to. Oh my god, that's a lot of space that Myth created on the straight. God damn.
Somebody please stop this McLaren tax. It's too much. It's too much for IRC. There is something wrong here.
That man knows to set up a McLaren. That's one thing that I know about Myth, because I am a McLaren driver and I also generally refer to this man for setups. So maybe he has found the hack to make McLaren really quicker than a Ferrari, and not lose downforce on corner exit. So this man knows something.
Disgusting amount of grip. This is too much. Now he's going to make quick work of Tegi's one as well. And oh my god, like that positioning was just absolutely scandalous. The amount of grip he got into.
Why do I think that he is gonna do the same move that he did on Eitzel? Take his one. I think he's gonna do the same thing.
He only has two opportunities left. Actually, more like one, given that he'll actually have to get him on the line next time around. But he's lining himself so beautifully for it. You can see the tax come into picture. All your taxpayers' money going into the freaking grip of Myth's McLaren right now. Sizing himself up, but the door closes. Tegi's one is a smart boy, and he closes it right at the most opportune moment for Myth, and that's just completely thrown him off. Amazing defending there by Tegi's one.
Tegi's one knew that this is what he has been doing for the past 2 or 3 drivers, or the 2 or 3 overtakes that we have seen, and Tegi's one placed his car on the inside, going off Myth, but Myth still manages to keep not that big of a delta between himself and Tegi's one. So we'll see if Myth can get a comeback, maybe get a second chance. He is putting a lot of pressure on Tegi's one right now, looking for the left, looking for the right. He just wants a peak. He just wants a mistake from Tegi's one ahead of him.
Well, it is a well-known fact that the BMW has a fat ass, and Myth is definitely getting a huge chunk of that right now as he tries to find a way through, but he's just unwavering going into this slippery, snaky section. But in the meanwhile, I think Tavlish has more or less checked out and is about to cross the finish line very, very soon. While we wait for him to do that, this is probably the last option. All just inches away. A different line, but fantastic driving from Tegi's one. I think he will just be able to hold on. We'll have to wait and watch. But Tavlish Singh crosses the line to win the second race. And continue his dominance. But going into the last corner for the final time here for the podium position, he's going to think about a move around the outside. But the grip hacks ended right there. And Tegis1 crosses the line to finish P2. An amazing drive from him. And with his damage, took that McLaren all the way to P3. A very good drive from Eitzel as well. Really fought hard, but was unable to capitalize when it mattered. So he finishes just outside the podium positions. And the rest of the field right now starting in really quickly behind Deepakraj in P7, Kake in P8. We got Nirma finished in P6, so a fantastic result for him. Man is definitely very consistent when it comes to the season. Definitely been putting in the hours, and it's showing right now.
One thing
What a
to note,
race!
Faizan does get, AM class winner, champion for this race. He is the top in the
Well,
AM class.
well, well. Where is Casey when we need him? We need another competitor back into the AM class. We will
Yes.
contact him personally and we will make sure that he is there in the next race. You have our word.
Yes, definitely. We'll try to get another AM class to challenge Faizan at least. But as soon as Faizan crosses the line, let's go and have a look at the replay because I think the session will forward and we can't have a look at the replay. So, SSJ, can you just open the replay to the first lap? Just want to have a look who caused the incident.
Whew.
Uh, you don't need to do that, but chalega. Let's just fast forward to turn one. Ah, yes.
Let's stick with Panda right now. Let's see what has happened.
Maybe
Forward
five
probably.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, lights out and away we go. Good start from Davlish. A lot of close action between, I believe, I'm not sure who that is actually, but there is
Oh,
contact with.
Ghost. I think that was Ghost. Yes, that was Ghost.
Oh,
That
there is a reason we
blue.
didn't see Ghost the entire race, and that's probably because he just left at this point. He just said I had enough and probably left. Ah,
Yeah, Ghost
this
just.
is this is yeah, this is
Oh yeah.
pandemonium. Two shots taking out four cars, five cars in the process. Whoo, Ghost, you are gonna have to face the music on this one.
Yeah. That was a very unfortunate. I think he just forgot to brake there, and because of that, he just went into the rear. That caused a chain reaction, and that's what we have. Starmax Lord having a DT as we see, but it doesn't matter. I don't think he finished the race. No, we had only 16 finishers of race 2. Rest all drivers gave it all, but had to quit because of one reason or another. Let's head over to podium interviews. I think we do not have anything else. We have the final finishing order right in front of you. Davlesh Singh winning the race. P2 Tech is 1, P3 Myth, P4 Eitzel, P5 Worship the Panda, P6 Washing Powder Nirma, P7 Deepakraj, P8 Kake, P9 Oshan, P10 Faizan, P11 Babaji, P12 Raja, P13 Cannonade, P14 I did not see. So we'll miss two or three drivers. That's okay. Let's get back to podium interviews. The session has ended. That was a brilliant race here at Hungaro Ring. What are your comments on that, Kapil?
Definitely did not disappoint. I loved the action through and through. It was unfortunate to have a contact of that magnitude ruin the second race, but yeah, that's just it's just what happens when you have Dwajin moments are just inevitable in Hungaro Ring. It's just the IRC curse that befalls on our ACC boys here tonight. So there's not much you can do about that, unfortunately. But other than that, yeah, I think it was a lot of action through and through. A lot of pro drivers making comeback drives across the field, and yeah, you love to watch that. So yeah, great job, guys. Fantastic race tonight.
Yes, indeed. We do have our P1 and P3 finisher for the race today. So let's start off with Myth. Myth, we did see you get taken out into turn one because of Ghost missing his braking. That caused a chain reaction, took out multiple cars. But after that incident, what was the thought process that was going through your mind?
Nothing much. I realized even though I got taken out, I was still pretty much with the pack, with everyone. So I was like, I guess it's just the last of us challenge now, except with rear damage.
Yes, indeed. Sort of middle to first race with rear damage. But anyways, you were showing some grip hacks out there. So was it because of your setup or was it McLaren tax?
Oh, it's maybe a bit of both. But you could see the McLaren is like so slow on the straights now. I don't know what they did, but it's pretty much like even if I'm like right behind the car ahead, I'm still slower on the straights. But in the corners, it's really nice, and especially I think sector 3 is like insane for McLaren here.
Yes, indeed. Uh, okay, in race one, we did see, you sticking within 1 second of Davlesh Singh throughout the race. So what was going uh, through your mind during that time? We did see you comment that you need DRS. So were you frustrated? Were you looking for a dive? What was going through your mind?
Well, I was nowhere close to making a dive because every time I get even like a really good exit out of last corner, his Audi would just pull away in the straight, and there was literally no chance for me in turn one. I would get like within 3 tenths sometimes, but still I would become half a second by the end of the straight. And overall, I think I actually think it was a really nice race because me and him were like literally in a league of our own, and we were really consistent, but literally no mistakes made from both of us, and it was just I guess a sprint chase. And I was honestly really annoyed in qualifying because I knew this was going to happen beforehand itself. There was literally no chance pretty much in this track to overtake, and in the last attempt I was up like 3 tenths, and then the final sector I bottled it as usual, and yeah, unfortunately I couldn't get both.
That's a good effort from you. We did see you get pole position, but then Davlesh Singh crossed the line and he took the pole position from you in the closing moments of qualifying. Nevertheless, a good race from you, especially race one and race two, where you came back from middle of the pack to the P2, P3 position. So that's not at all a bad finishing for you. Very good racing from you. We have Davlesh Singh also, welcome back to a very familiar place, I believe. Davlesh?
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, so as Amit mentioned, it was a very close first race. We were really consistent, and he was just behind me all the time and putting all the pressure. But yeah, Audi straight line speed helping me keep my position on the straight. Apart from that, I think it's good that Amit made that mistake in quali. I also caught up to Faizan on my final attempt, and he cost me like 3 tenths, and I wasn't really sure if that would be enough for pole, but yeah, I just somehow got it. And the second race and first race both were sort of a repeat from season four. Exactly the same things happened. We were quite close even in season four in the first race, and in the second race, Amit got taken out by some bowling from behind, and exactly same again.
Mm. Nevertheless, did you feel challenged today more when Myth
Yeah,
was
definitely,
there?
absolutely. In the race, Amit was quite fast.
Do you think he was quicker than you?
Um, it's a bit difficult to comment on that, to
Ah.
be honest.
Nevertheless, so in the second race, when you avoided all the incident, what went through your mind? Did you think that it was something that you were lucky to not be a part of? Did you did you feel bad that now Myth is not there to challenge you, or what were your emotions through that?
So it was a bit of both actually. So first, there was some relief that I won't really have to push so much without Myth being right behind me. But yeah, it was quite boring as well. So
Ah. Well, suffering from success, as I always say. So I think this is a very common place for you. Every week you will be dragged into this VC if we don't find a challenger for you soon. Maybe we should just have a BOP just for you from the next race, just to spice things up.
Yeah,
But
Amit should
anyways,
be. If Amit is there, then we'll for sure have close races.
yeah, definitely. But I think Myth is here only for the next 1 month or so. Then he
Oh,
will
okay.
be going back for his studies. But nevertheless, a great race by you. Good, congratulations on your P1 finish. Unfortunately, we could not get Tegis 1 into the VC. But we do have our AM class winner Faizan joining us in the com box. So, Faizan, how was your race? Any comments on the race that you want to make?
Yeah, thanks for let me know that I won the M class. I have no idea. Um, yeah, feels good to win something. Obviously there were quite a few incidents in the race. I'm aware of it. I have to go back and view what has happened. Obviously people can report if there's some issues, but anyhow, happy to win the race. I didn't have the pace today, but yeah, good to feel that, and also to everyone abusing me in the VC. This win is dedicated to you. Thanks.
Well, you did shut a couple of people off that by winning the AM class. So, congratulations on that part as well. And definitely, we did see you not being up to shape, but you were still quicker than a lot of the silver drivers. So, good show from you for today's race. And congratulations on your AM class win at Hungaroring. But that's it. That's the end of our podium interview.
Tag as
Oh,
one, please join.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just saw that as soon as I was telling that. We have Tech is one who has joined the comms box for the podium interview. So Tech is one, talk us through your race, especially the second race when you saw everyone dispersed off in front of you because of an incident. You got a clean part to P2, and then you had 8 sil on your rear throughout the race, and then it was myth towards the end of the race. So what was going through your mind in that during all of this? Can you? I'm not sure. You're not muted, but we can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear
Yeah,
me now?
yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you, guys. It was a great race. Lucky in the beginning, but then Edsel was all over me throughout the race, and it was like very stressful race. And I think he was faster than me, but because Hungaroring is such a track, it's not easy to overtake. So I got lucky, and then Myth was there, and I had to survive for 2 laps, and just managed it, and very happy about it.
Yeah. Nevertheless, a great defending from you,
Yeah,
especially from 8 and from Myth towards the end of the race. A great
yeah.
finish by you in race 2 as well. Race 1, I'm not sure which position did you finish, race 1?
I think I finished fifth.
Yeah, that also is not a bad position to finish
Yeah,
race 1. You are collecting good enough points, and obviously, you did win the silver class. You are on top of, you are one of the top in the silver class. So, you did win the silver class championship for this race.
yeah.
Hopefully, you carry this on for the rest of the season, but that's it for the podium interviews from IRC. If you have been staying with us still here, thanks for watching today's race. And if you liked what you watch, do consider sharing this video with your friends. It helps our community, and if you are interested to be a part of this community, all the links will be down in the description. But if you liked what you watch, do drop in a like on this video, do comment what you felt about the race and what you liked about this race. But thank you everyone for watching. Have a good night, have a good day, and see you tomorrow with our F1 races tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Thank you everyone for watching. Good night, bye bye, take care.
Thank you.
Nighty
Good night.
night.
Bye.